So welcome to the live US Stock Market Live session here and Watchlist. So just to let you know, for Trading Masterclass members, we are doing this now Monday through Thursday. So this that we're doing free on YouTube, we're now doing this pre-market live stream every Monday through Thursday for the Trading Masterclass students. So pretty cool that I'm really enjoying having the pre-market live stream with the students every day. Just constant video attention, time with them, answering questions, going over charts. So I'm really enjoying that. But let's get into the market today. We do got some movers. We are going to review some things that we are already in, some of the things we talked about in our pre-market live stream yesterday. Bitcoin, all-time highs, hard not to talk about that. Cannabis stock, something we've been talking for a while, hard not to talk about that. We do have some good movers today, so we're going to get into that as well. So Islam, good to see you, and Jake, good to see you as well. So first off, we're going to start with the Benzinga Pro Rep just to kind of get an idea of what's going on with some of the movers. Then we're going to start to move down the list, and we're going to look at one of the movers I think is one of the hotter ones right now. So our general qualifications for looking for pre-market movers to day trade for the day is we want volume to be above 600K pre-market at a minimum. I don't touch anything unless they have 600,000 shares as a minimum. And we want it to be, around a third, or more of the average daily volume over the last 10 days. And so this one's not quite at 6%, so 600K volume and 10.3. So it's about 6% of average daily volume. Same thing here, but we got a couple here. We got this one, HTBX, which we're going to look at, up 104%. Glue, that's an acquisition, so there's nothing you want to do on that because they usually fix the price. This one was a kind of a rip and fade. I might look at Comstock Holdings here, CHCI. There is some potential on this one here. They have another 143% mover, but it's kind of gone nowhere in the last several hours. It's faded a huge portion of that move. So there might be a fade play here, but I think the big one to look at is HTBX and Comstock Holdings. But let's start off with Bitcoin. So we've been talking about how we felt like Bitcoin had been changing the structure of this pullback by getting above prior weekly highs, needs to close above monthly VWAP. It did that last week. It also closed above the prior weekly highs, another technical bullish signal. And we felt like, hey, this is going to rip for an extension here. And it has. And once it cleared out this, you've tripped all the stops on the short side. There are no more stops on this one here. So I am currently long Bitcoin, but I'm long Bitcoin via Bitcoin stocks. I'm not trading Bitcoin directly. At this point, in my opinion, I don't see anything stopping it from hitting 50K. And there's a pretty good bull case, in my opinion, to be made. Again, this is just my opinion, that we could be seeing 100K this year. So one of the big things that really helped Bitcoin yesterday was the fact that Tesla had announced that it bought 1.5 billion of Bitcoin. And so you can see where that announcement came out, and it just ripped and just kept going higher and higher and higher. So that is a big thing. Tesla is, I think, the largest weighted cap stock in the S&P 500 right now. And this kind of opens, it's 1.5 billion is not a huge amount in terms of overall nominal Bitcoin that are in circulation, but it is huge in the sense that we now have a S&P 500 company openly buying Bitcoin and saying they may accept future payments in Bitcoin. So this kind of changes the game, because you better believe that other companies are looking at doing something very similar. There's even supposed rumors of Apple potentially buying Bitcoin, and they have huge cash reserves. Tesla doesn't have major cash reserves. Apple has huge cash reserves. So if you start to see more and more companies buying Bitcoin, even using a small percentage of their cash holdings in Bitcoin, 1%, 5%, whatever, it's just going to start to open the floodgates. And I think Tesla doing that was the first kind of shot across the bow, that the chances of more companies doing that seem likely, in my opinion. So if that were to manifest, then I don't really see any reason why Bitcoin won't make it to 100K. I just, it's going to have pullbacks, like we did when we hit 42K recently and then pulled back all the way down to 28K. It's going to have that. But that's what I'm seeing on this right now. So I'm going to continue to maintain my long position via GBTC, which, as you can see, is almost tracking. What is it? This is pre-market right now. So if we were to overlay it with the Bitcoin price, then you would see that it's pretty much tracking it very well. It's just a little bit behind. So there's a small difference. The fact that it's a little behind means you're paying a premium. So you're paying a premium to not, trade Bitcoin directly, not spend, 46,000 per coin. And so for GBTC, which is valued at 45, I'm getting a much better return on my capital investment for the small premium that I'm paying to do that. So I'm long via GBTC. I'm long via Mara. We've been long Mara quite a while now, and we'll talk about Mara, but yeah, GBTC is one of my preferred vehicles to be trading Bitcoin as a proxy. Mara, we added some yesterday. We had some exposure yesterday, and looking at Mara, you can see, we had some exposure, and it just kind of steadily was rising, and then the aftermarket just soared from 31 to 41. That's huge. That's a 33% jump. It's faded a little bit of that. So, I think there's a little bit of an overextension here. So I'm happy for this to pull back, accumulate some more. But yeah, we accumulated in sub 30 yesterday, and we're already up another $5 from that pre-market right now. So I feel very strongly about Bitcoin right now. And so we'll definitely add on pullbacks, maybe take some profit. But yeah, so that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. Cannabis stocks very strongly positioned this year. TLRY has broken out of a major structure. So you can see on the weekly here. And we'll talk about trading TLRY. We added to our TLRY position yesterday, 27 something yesterday. I have to look. If any of the students that are watching right now remember, let me know the price on that one. But TLRY is broken out of this kind of corrective structure, nice rip here, and it also cleared major resistance, which you can see. Let's get the pen out. Here and here. So we said if it clears that, what's the next target? You're talking that the next target is here, 33. It's already hit that in pre-market. And so we now have to look for bigger targets. And looking at bigger targets, I think somewhere around, this area is going to provide some. This is, right around 50. So I think 45, 50 now, round numbers, because I don't see anything in here. Maybe 45 from a price action perspective, acting as a major resistance. There is some right here, but I think you got 40, 45, 50. And if it clears that, then I don't see anything touching it until 65. So this is a huge, huge rip. I'm going to keep holding this for a while. But I really like this one. In terms of reloading or adding on this one here on TLRY, let's go to 4 hour. You have your impulsive, like here, corrective structure here, breakout. Didn't even make it back to the prior resistance here. It formed a much smaller corrective structure, which is a continuation sign in this case. And since then it's ripped. So I don't know if it's going to make it back to 29, but 30 doesn't seem like a bad pullback point for me to get long. Let's see if there's anything else on nothing on the 1 hour. And pre-market is this one right here. So yeah, 33.80, there is some potential there. I'd like to see a little more time, like sit here a little bit. Time in sales looks good, but otherwise I'd be looking for a dip to 30. So I'm going to set an alert a little bit short of that 30.70. Give me a notice in advance, and then I could take a position on that one there. APHA, also cannabis stock, looking very strong. We added to APHA yesterday. Does anybody? So we added TLRY 27.78. Okay, so where's TLRY now? 34. So we're up $7, $6.50 on that position that we added yesterday. And APHA we also added. Jake, do you know where we added on APHA on that one in the live trade room? If you have the numbers, APHA also another big runner. Above all-time highs. That's huge. That's huge. We have definitely cleared out some stops. I am expecting a little bit of a pullback, but I'd be happy to reload at 17. And I would even consider, like, I think 20 is a little too thin. You just have this and then just sold off there. So I think maybe 19 or 18 and a quarter I would consider reloading. So we'll set one at 1898. But I'll definitely add more on this one here. Jake looks like he's looking. So a free at 1821. And what is a free right now? It's 2076. So we're up 250 on that one that we just added yesterday in the live trade room. So all doing very, very well. A free, in other words, all-time highs. You got to look at round numbers, 25, 30, 35. It hasn't built a history there. If there's no history, then you have to look at round numbers, basically. So ACB is kind of the laggard in this group. I've since closed my ACB position. But ACB is building a very nice structure on the weekly. It's consistently building and curling up. Volume was kind of fading for a little bit now, but volume is picking up. We do have earnings, which is coming out 2 days. So that'll be interesting to see. But it's a laggard. So I don't really want to touch a FRIA until we can clear, 18 and a half, 19. We still have this peak right here, 20. I think once we do that, then we can trip some stops. Then we have a lot more upside on this one here. But it's the laggard to me. I feel like I'm doing great on a FRIA. I'm doing great on TLRY. There's no need for me to. Maybe CGC would be one of them. I like CGC structure better than the ACB. So yeah. Okay, so let's take a look at the Benzinga list. Now that we've covered that, HTBX, Heat Biologics, Heat Biologics. Okay, so there is a positive news catalyst. It wasn't showing in there. Source and pre-market on heels of encouraging interim data from the phase 2 trial evaluating HAS combination personalities. Medium progression-free survival 1.8 months and medium overall survival 24. So medium progression-free survival is when they take the drug. How long do they go without experiencing a progression in the disease? So after taking their drug, median progression-free survival of 1.8 months and median overall survival of 24.6 months was observed in checkpoint inhibitor patients with advanced NLCs. Okay. The 1-year survival rate of cohort A is 61.7%. Okay. So people that have lung cancers, various types of lung cancers, they're surviving longer. They're having a slightly better survival rate. That's very positive. And this is phase 2. So usually there's a phase 3 trial. But all very positive news, good positive news catalyst on this one here. So smart pre-market highs. Now let's take a look at the weekly. So we can kind of see overall on this one here. 1951, Lego Kevin, good morning to you. That's the 5-minute. We need the weekly. Okay. So 20 is definitely going to provide 20 and 2066, which you can see why that might provide resistance here, here, weekly close here. Beyond that, you can see this offering a little bit. Yeah, 25, 26 in this case offering. And then you got just shy of 30. Just shy of 30. So we're already at 17 pre-market. You definitely got some serious resistance up here. Like 1951 and 2066 will offer some decent resistance. If it can clear that, then it's very, very good. I'm not seeing a volume buildup, which means nobody really knew about this stock or the results or anything like that. Just these big spikes, but no volume. Like I'm not seeing a consistent volume build over time. So there's not like a volume profile that's building. But looking at that, volume was decent. It's fading a little bit. So looking at the 5-minute, I don't know if I want to take a break in 1951 to 2066 because you're going to have 20 right overhead and then 2066. I'd rather see a little bit of a pullback, maybe to VWAP or maybe to 14. Right now, it looks like it's in a short-term corrective structure at the top. So false break back inside this corrective structure right here. If it loses this in VWAP, then I see it probably pulling back towards 14. Maybe the 20 MA, it stops there. But that's kind of what I see going on in this one right here. So I'd either like to see this build a little bit here, build some pressure. Then maybe I'd be a little more interested in the breakout. Otherwise, I'd want this to fade a little bit before I get long in this one here. And who knows, this might be one that just all of its move is pre-market and then it fades, in the market. So we'll have to watch this one. I'll definitely keep an eye on this one here. Take a look at Zyne and CNSP. This is a stock that we longed. We went long via calls, like way back in 4. We bought $5 calls. They were super cheap because IB was low. And because we caught the rocket of the move, we're profiting very heavily from gamma and theta. Basically, we're doing very well because we have so much time premium built in. We got like 3 or 4 months out. So we're long via calls. The structure on Zyne looks very, very positive so far. So we bought the calls, and I think the early session, that rip really helped us. It increased the price of the calls, also increased IV. Corrective structure, then it kind of holds VWAP and holds $5, pull back to 5, bounces, launches higher. And now we're kind of trading above this kind of floor right there. So I'd like to see this breakout above 6. My target, as you can see, the yellow alert right there is 640. And you can see why 640 is on the weekly. So right around these peaks over here. That's kind of what I'm targeting. I've already closed 1/3 of the calls. So if we get to 640, I'll probably close. If I feel like it can extend beyond 7.5, I mean, if this thing were to go gangster and go to 14, wow, I couldn't even imagine what those calls would be worth. I'd have to look at the analytics tab to see what they'd be worth. They'd be worth huge. They're already over double in value. So whatever we paid for them, we've already made that money back and doubled our profit on that one. So yeah, at 640 though, I'll probably take another third off and then I'll evaluate, do I think this thing has room to run? If I do, then I'll leave the remaining third calls, kind of for a long punt on this one here. Otherwise, I'll just close the remaining 2/3 around 640, sub 7, basically. Wallball saying, great calls on Mara and Riot. Much appreciate. You're welcome. So yeah, these have turned out really, really well. Another one, CNSP, which we still think has a little room to run. We took this one because I think it was HP Rainwright had initiated coverage on this one here. We liked the story behind it. We liked the price action behind it. We bought in, I don't know, mid 2s. Does anybody know we bought CNS at? We bought in somewhere mid 2s. And here it is already 398, and it's just appreciated. And the 4-hour structure looks very, very nice on this one here. So you can see we bought it and it's just ripped since then. Here's your impulsive lag. Why are you? Oh, wrong one. That's the pen. So rip, then corrective structure, found support at weekly VWAP and just kind of built up. Now it's cleared this. Another impulsive move, corrective pullback thus far. So the intraday dips are being bought, but it is scaling down a little bit. So look at this on maybe a 5-minute. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah, 5-minute looks fine to me. It's just it's not horizontal. It's a little bit slanted. So I think if this thing starts to go sideways and not, break these lows, then I think we're in a good position. Where would I want to take profit on this one here? Like if it pulls back, I think if we start to get in a sub 350, then I'll probably just close the position, call it a day. And that was that. I can't do options on this. There's no options available, but I'd like to see this one. I really like to hold this one because I believe their target of $10 has some merit to it. They had a really positive news catalyst. I have to remember what it is, but I wouldn't be surprised to see this pull back to, 370, 360, this kind of area here. And so I may consider reloading or adding, but I think if we get sub 350, then I'll just look. Yeah, if we get sub 350, then I'll probably just close the position like 340, 342, 345 or something like that. So that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. Let's see if there's anything else moving right now. HTBX is still, okay, it's building. So that's good. It is building here. This is, that's a good sign that it's holding near the highs and building. There hasn't been major profit taking yet. We're not seeing a counter trend corrective pullback. So right now it is holding this kind of structure for right now. And so if it can stay like this going into market and then break out, then I think you have a better scenario for a potential breakout trade on this one here. Okay, so anything else on this one before we go to open Q&A? We got 8 minutes of the market open. No, and I go Comstock Holdings. What is the positive news on you guys? Real estate's are 5-cent earnings per share just decreased by 64%. Does not have a dividend yield. Okay. So why? There was a 91% burn after climbing over 2% on Monday. So you missed earnings. There's no other positive news catalyst. See all these intra-week rips? Like it rips and then it fades, it rips and then it fades. This might be one of those as well. It just consistently will rip, fade, rip, fade, rip, fade. So maybe this rip might even just be a pre-market rip and then it fades within the session, but it doesn't hold the intra-week gains. And I'm not saying a big build on volume. So I think if anything, this would be a fade play for those of you that, for my stock trading course members. I think this would be more a fade play on this one here. Okay, so open Q&A right now. 3 requirements: symbol name. So you got to give me the symbol, time frame, and 1 cent subscription, bullish or bearish. We have about 5.5 minutes before market opens, so we can do that. HCW has one heck of a track record tied to offerings post involvement. Just a note. Give me a time frame, Wall Ball. We'll take a look. Give me a time frame. Colin wants to look at KALV. Calvista. I think they're on one of the movers, aren't they? Yeah, 161%, 2.6 million pre-market, averages 124K. What's the news on this one here? Who knows what? Okay, so there was something here. How's the results for KVD 900 phase 2 demonstrating statistically clinically safe response across endpoints as an oral on-demand treatment for HAE attacks? Protease inhibitors. Again, remember how I said that most drugs inhibit versus excite? So in the brain, you can either inhibit the cell, which causes it to not fire. You can excite certain cells, which causes them to fire. Most drugs usually are inhibitors, which is kind of interesting to know. Hereditary angioedema, HAE attacks. Phase 2. Okay. 53 adult patients. So yeah, phase 2 is usually small. So they're going to have a bigger one in phase 3, but it is positive news. So, oh, wait a minute. I did see something else. There was maintains a buy on CalVista, raises price target to 32. Yeah, you've passed that, I think. Yeah, we're at 40. This buy target at 32 was hit overnight. Let's mark pre-market highs on this one here. It's not, this 1 hour chart concerns me a little bit. So why does it concern me? Okay, we've had a rip from 16 to 50. 300%, what is it? Yeah, it's a 300% increase. And we've already faded. So what is that? So 16, it's 34. We've already faded 10 of that 34. So 1/3. We faded about 1/3. It is holding the weekly view up on this one here, but I don't like how, like, we've already faded a huge portion. Like, we're not, you create this very wide corrective structure at the top of the move, And that's good, but it's not a narrow one. It's not like a narrow one at the top here. This is a wide corrective structure that is 1/3 the entire move. That leaves me a little bit of pause. That means that you really have to work inside here to build pressure for a breakout. So yeah, like if this was like, here's your impulsive move, here's your corrective move at the top, way better. But we gone, I mean, you could technically call it as far down as here, and we're way down at 41.21. That's this does leave me pause because there are clearly some sellers in this range here. So the 1 hour does leave me a little bit of pause. Let's take a look at 5 minute real quick. Yeah, it's a really big fade. That's a really big fade. So far, this bounce looks pretty good. We have reclaimed VWAP. That's not bad. Okay, so we're holding above VWAP. Yeah, so not bad, Colin. It's not my favorite, but it's not bad. I think it has potential. If it can clear out this corrective structure, then I think it has potential to head towards 45, 46. But I definitely have questions on this one here. Volume is good. Yeah, volume's good so far. It's going to need to hold VWAP. If it starts to lose VWAP pretty quickly, like if it starts to do this and get below this, then I think you're going to revisit this swing low here. And then that would show to me that, you know, here's what's happening. So, you know, you have swing high and lower high. That's kind of what I'm doing. I'm only looking above 43. Copy that. PBO on daily, you wouldn't, yeah. On something that ripped like this, you wouldn't think PBO. Oh, can. Okay, gotcha. Sorry, my bad. Okay, let's see a couple questions. Okay, so that's Calv. Pardon me, I went HC Rain. Okay. I appreciate that. HCW has one heck of a track record tied to offerings post involvement. Yeah. Yeah, even though they're not huge, but they've definitely been pretty good before. Like I've seen some of their offerings before and they've done pretty good. So it's a very good point. AZS. Turner Centaurus. Sounds like some space constellation. AZS somewhat VWAP. I mean, for old APA members, it's kind of as building a 3P structure. You're going to need to clear this. I don't see a breakout pullback, sort of. Yeah. It's more of like 242 with an overshoot, but you have a nice false break. You know, this candle flush and then false break. So you need to clear this. Yeah, you need to clear that. Wow, that's pretty wild. Okay, see if we can run through a few more, and then I got to get to the live trade room with the TTM members. Hector says Neo long daily chart. I haven't checked in Neo in a few. Let's look at. Good structure. Yeah. Yeah. This is a really good structure. Hard not to like this one. What do you? Yeah, I like the structure. So impulsive, short-term impulsive pullback, transition, another transition, higher low, third transition by impulsive, pulling back right to prior resistance, extension. Yeah. Yeah, this is all right about. Yeah, I like this one. It's not bad. I like this one. I don't day trade. I generally don't day trade stocks above $50, but there might be a swing position here, but not bad. I'd like to see just a little bit of a pullback. If I was to get in on this one here, you know, somewhere in this meat here. But overall, I like this one. I like the structure. So yeah, good spot on this one here. I like that one. Nice work on that one. Okay, I got Can, and then we can run through CGC really quick, and then we got to run through Hugo Boss, and that's it. So Can. This is one we looked at yesterday, I think. Canon, PBO on daily. Wouldn't be a PBO because you don't have the pressure build. The launch is from here, so there's no pressure build. Yeah. So PBO, remember the qualities of the PBO, you got to see the pressure build. It's not there yet, but yeah. CGC, Canopy Growth is part of the stocks. Yeah, it's one of the better looking stocks. I really like this one. Let's look at 1 hour. Yeah, it's hard not to like this one. I may get long on this one here. I'm already pretty long Canna stocks, so I'm not sure if I want to add too much exposure, but I like, yeah, I wouldn't mind mid to low 43s. Mid to low 43s. We had talked about that if it breaks 36, that its upside target be 48. I think it's going to hit that. We ended up not taking it because we're already pretty heavily long APHA and TLRY. But yeah, it's hard not to like this one. It's a very good structure. Very, very good spot. Yeah, I think your BOPB. Yeah, I think it's spot on. Okay, last one, Hugo Boss. Oh, that's the German one. Let's see. Hugo Boss OTG stock. Are you thinking OTG or are you thinking? You are not thinking. You're thinking the German stock. Hmm. $25.60. Okay, I see what you're saying. I'm a little concerned that it's just been a one-way train since this year. Oh, this is a 1 hour. I'm gonna look at daily. Can't say this excites me too much because it really hasn't lifted off the bottom. There is a nice higher base here, and you did have an overshoot here, but I see what you're saying. This is a decent base from which it launched higher, but it's just been fading consistently day after day after day. I would probably want to see this get here and then watch time and sales. Watch the order flow on this one here. Yeah, I'd like to see this hit time and sales. And I'd like to see it look pretty good. Like time and sales shows that there's a lot of buying interest off this, good size, things like that. But it's not really, this is coronavirus and it's at the bottom. So it's still holding the bottom. It's trying to build out of it, but yeah, not totally crazy about this. It might be an interesting option play on this one here. There might be some interesting option plays on this one here. So that might be a way to take a look at this one here. Okay. I got to get to the live trade room for the Trading Masterclass members, but I hope you guys enjoyed this session. Just to recap, we're going to be looking at, this has already started. Okay. So it's already lost VWAP. So yeah, this could be fading a pretty fair amount. So HTBX, we went over Zine. We went over CNSP. Nice. I like that. Cannabis stocks like APHA and TLRY, very strong. Mara, we're looking to buy and add on dips because we feel Bitcoin is very, very strong. So yeah, strong on Bitcoin stocks. I still feel there's a lot more in them. Like I just don't see this run on Bitcoin being over at 50,000. I just don't see that. So we had made a prediction. We estimated 50,000 this year, and we're pretty close to hitting that already. But I still like GBTC. I still like Mara on pullbacks. I'm still liking cannabis stocks across our CGC, very good cannabis stock right now. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So that covers the recap. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this. We do this for free. We don't get paid for this. This is for your benefit. So I hope you guys got benefit out of this. We do this live every day, Monday through Thursday for our Trading Masterclass members. And then we go to our live trade rooms. So I hope you guys get to join us in that soon. Other than that, good luck trading today. Go make some money. And I will see you guys. I won't be here this Friday. It's Tibetan Losar, which is New Year for us Tibetan Buddhists. I have been practicing for 20 years. I think it's also Chinese New Year this Friday. So I will not be here this Friday on YouTube, but I probably will be the following Friday. So yeah, do something to start the new year. So I hope you guys have a great, for those of you that celebrate, a great Chinese New Year or Tibetan Losar. And good luck trading today, and I will see you guys next time.